welcome to 60-minute access of Dragonball Fighter Z multiplayer.
Oh shit.
And this time we're on PS4, so you get a little taste of that.
Little taste of the same exact thing on a different platform.
Pretty much.
I was going to make a joke about PS4 being superior, but I literally have no basis for that. I 100% just play everything on PS4 because I have one.
So Digital Foundry actually did the comparison between the four versions: PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, Xbox One X. The only difference is the shadow quality.
Yeah.
And resolution. Like, that's it.
Well, that's all that they were going for, right? Was like graphic fidelity between the Pro and the X versus like the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, but like sometimes the differences are like way big. Like on Monster Hunter, it's like graphical details and shit.
The other thing too is like the upgraded versions of the current gen consoles are specifically being upgraded because VR is becoming a bigger thing.
And 4K televisions.
Yeah, VR and 4K. I hear a lot of VR being like tossed around in conversation though. I don't know, we'll see. VR is kind of like, it's on a decline again, it seems like, right?
So, like, my opinion after seeing it at multiple events is always, it's cool but impractical.
Right.
Because
I think the most practical you get is the Vive, and the Vive is super fucking expensive.
Not only that, the Vive is also requires a damn room. So...
Yeah, but you're always going to have that.
Yeah, but like, you know... No, like, to use the Vive, you need a 12 by 12 room.
Yeah.
Just for the Vive.
But again, you're always going to need that for VR. I feel like you're never going to have a space where, like, VR is just... Like, obviously, the image of the future is, like, you get, like, a little, like, treadmill situation going on where you're in one space in the room and you're running around and the VR just picks that up.
The thing is, though, is, like, PlayStation VR, you can use it, like, 6 feet.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, like
but PlayStation VR also isn't nearly as like powerful or anything like that.
Oh no, it's not nearly as intense.
So we're doing the online. Bronson's playing right now.
I'm so good, and by so good, I mean I'm fucking awful.
Oh, we're both awful. The minute I get to play, I'm gonna just get destroyed.
I'm gonna throw you in casual match.
Why?
Because I like my record.
Oh, I don't like your record.
I'm sure you don't.
Everybody who wants me to fuck up Bronson's record, leave a comment down below, and it'll probably happen.
We'll do another video.
We'll do another video where Brandon just fucking destroys whatever it is that Bronson's trying to accomplish here. So already, the other person's Goku Blue is fucking up Bronson. Wait, are you on the... Oh, you're on the right. Christ alive, dude. I'm shook.
Yeah, but Goku Black is like my weakness in this game.
Really? Oh yeah, he's pretty great.
Like, oh my god, I have been effed up by Goku Black so much.
Seems like your cell's not bad though. Huh. So we've played this game a lot, Bronson a lot more than I have, just because he's like got the capability to right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, oh fuck.
I think we're also... Oh, shit. How do you do the, like, ult assists like that? Do you just push L?
You just call in the assist
during your ult? That's crazy. It probably consumes twice the bar or something?
Yeah. It eats one bar per super.
Oh, okay.
Oh, god, that's bad.
No, it wasn't.
Wow, I got
Joke's on you, bitch.
I got so fucking lucky there.
So Goku Blue's ult is Super Saiyan God Power Gun.
Yeah, and
pretty rad. Should be Ultra Instinct, but that's pretty rad.
If you mash R1 or R2 after you do the extended version, but I did not go here, so
this game's only going to have up to like the new Future Trunks arc for like characters and movesets, huh?
That's what it feels like from what the supposed DLC leakers did and whatnot.
I guess it's hard to do the
Tournament of Power.
Yeah, the tournament of power while it's still running.
Yeah, even though like it only has 6 episodes left, but I see like
yeah. Next game. Hopefully there's a next game. This better be like the new status quo for Dragonball Fighters because like I love Xenoverse, but I'm so sick of that fucking flying around in a sandbox style of fighting.
I put a lot of time into Xenoverse.
Yeah, Xenoverse. Me too. Believe me.
I own two versions of it.
I still play Xenoverse, but I do miss the customizable characters from Xenoverse, but it was also like the right game for that. And I can't see customizable characters being very viable in this game.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Oh, I only meant for this to be a bit of a warm-up. Perhaps I overdid it.
Fucking Cell.
I love Cell. I love that entire scene in every version of Dragon Ball when it's perfect Cell versus Vegeta.
Yeah.
Especially in a bridge, though.
Yeah. I don't know. We've talked a lot about Dragon Ball Z Abridged on the show. Because it's really good.
I've been watching Kai.
Kai's really good. I always tell people if they're trying to get into Dragon Ball, but they feel apprehensive about the series, then they should watch Kai or the Abridged series. Probably Kai, but the Abridged series also gives you everything you need to know. Like, only watch the original series if you're fucking not... If you hate yourself, pretty much. Like, only watch the original series if you've already seen Kai, and you feel like you want to go in and dive deep into the extra arcs and all the extra episodes and stuff.
We've actually just added a segment to the podcast where Tammy has never seen Dragon Ball anything because she's from the UK, and the anime didn't get big there until very recently.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but Dragon Ball was popular in, like, the 90s over there, I think, right?
Not really, no.
Weird.
At least not where she was. Yeah, it took care of their biggest problem.
Well, Dragon Ball's also always been, like, kind of... that might be a demographic issue, too.
Yeah, so a segment we've added to the podcast is her walking through watching 5 episodes a week of Kai, and then discussing it at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Jesus, fuck me, Vegeta.
I really want to start streaming so that we can have, like, interactions with people, because it'd be great to get, like... Okay, so I made a post recently that's turned out to be a lot more controversial than I initially realized it would be. There's, like, this fucking widespread debate in the Dragon Ball fandom about which is the superior character, Goku or Vegeta, and it's not about whether or not, or who's the strongest fighter, because right now it seems like they're relatively even matched as far as fighting goes, but I just kind of posted like, hey, why does there have to be a better character? Like, you can't really have Goku in his current state without Vegeta, and you can't really have Vegeta without Goku. So, you know, I don't know. To me, it seems like a moot point, like picking favorites, I guess.
It even got more controversial this week because Vegeta just beast moded someone on the Tournament of Power.
Right, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, again, we're removing power levels or anything aside, like, which of the two is a superior character. And to me, you could argue that Vegeta has more depth, but literally all of that depth comes from his desire to best Goku, at least where we currently stand. Like, he will do anything he can to beat Goku. Goku has become his fucking, like, one-armed man. So I guess my whole point is, like, they kind of need each other. It's like Batman and the Joker. Like, they kind of need each other. Like, you can't really have one without the other.
So I was actually trolling a friend of mine who is a Vegeta fan.
Yeah, tell him that Goku's better.
That, and I posted, have you seen the Team 4-Star does Dragon Ball Super video?
Yeah.
I posted the Goku Black arc from that.
Right.
Where it's just like, how are you so much more powerful than me? Because a rose by any other name is still Goku.
Damn.
And stabs him, and then Goku's just like, different timeline, same result, eh, best buddy?
Damn. Damn.
It was too good.
To be fair, though, I don't know. Again, like, okay, so my favorite character ever since I was a little ass kid, like tiny boy, is Goku, just because of what Goku means to me, or what I perceive is Goku's whole, like, thing. Like, he's always been about, like, reaching new levels and achieving new things because he just loves to do that. And that to me is a very like admirable trait that not a lot of characters exhibit. Well, okay, shonen characters tend to exhibit it a lot more post Goku, but Goku's also kind of like the start of that whole like shonen protagonist thing, so he gets left out of that conversation a lot in general. But when it comes to Vegeta, I've always loved the fuck out of his like character arc and his struggle and all this other stuff. It's like, I don't know. Again, to me, there is no determinant difference in like how great the characters are between the two, just because they need each other, right? That's how I feel about it. Holmes needs his Moriarty, Vegeta needs his Goku. You can't really say Vegeta is a great character and Goku's a shit one, because the whole reason why Vegeta is great is because of Goku. But this sparked a lot of controversy. And a lot of people on my status were like bitching about it. Turned into a bitch about Goku fest, and I'm like, why do people rag on Goku so much lately, you know?
I think it's just
because people perceive him as like too perfect.
Like, yeah, they perceive him as just like getting random power bumps.
But Super fixes all that.
They do in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Super addresses the fuck out of Goku's character flaws, and yeah, he's powerful, but he's far from the most powerful character in that show anymore. You know what I mean? Like, he's been bested by so many different characters so many times, and, you know, I don't know, like, Goku has his Achilles heels just like Vegeta and anybody else, so I don't see why, like, I don't see where all the hate comes from now. Like, even old school Dragon Ball never, in my opinion, made Goku seem perfect. They just made him seem really fucking powerful. You know, I never perceived. There was a point in the series where I felt Goku was the strongest character, but that didn't inform why I liked him so much. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems ridiculous to me that because you like Vegeta, you have to hate Goku. It's the DC Marvel thing all over again. Like, because you like Marvel, you have to hate DC or vice versa. You know, I don't see that being a part of the thing. I'm talking about this because while the online mode is super cool, there's really not a whole lot to talk about when you're in match.
Yeah, and also it's because I'm fuck.
Yeah.
No, Cell is not. No, Cell.
Not quite. Oh. Boom, boom, boom. But anyway, yeah, like I don't know. You're allowed to have a preference. I just don't. And you're allowed to hate one of them, I guess. I just don't see why. At the end of the day, it seems fruitless to me. Like, putting all of that energy into like, I like this character, so I must hate this thing. You know? I don't know. Gryffindor house in Harry Potter gets a lot of unwarranted hate lately because that's the main character's house. And people are like, oh, well, they're the douchey jocks of Hogwarts, but like, how many characters in Harry Potter were douchey jocks? Like, almost none, and any of them that were basically Slytherins. But Slytherin is perceived as, like, the underdog lately because, like, people act like Gryffindor is, you know, I don't know. This whole conversation of, like, this one's gotten so much love for so long, which means we must inherently hate it now in favor of its rival, is fucking ridiculous to me. And, that's how I feel about that, like fucking Christ, like, we all just need to be fans and chill. Fandom, we talked about this during Monster Hunter, but nerds can be nerds. We don't have to be, like, angry douchebags.
No, everyone must fight. The universe needs conflict.
I mean, I guess so, yeah. Isn't that what Dragon Ball's about?
Yes.
But, I mean, also, like, can we chill a little?
Just a little.
Yeah. Star Wars versus Star Trek, you can like both. Like, I don't give a fuck about Star Trek, but I don't hate it. I've seen enough of it to know that I would probably enjoy it if I watched it. If I, like, sat down and got into the lore. Because I love lore. Lore is, like, so fascinating to me. I love when, like, franchises get hella deep into the like, world of it, you know? It really feels like you can dig deep into it.
No, that's part of the reason I love Warcraft so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Warcraft's lore is fucking insane.
Yeah. Warcraft has had its fair share of fucking, like, fandom rivals.
Oh, dude.
You got, like, Ion, you've got, like, what else? Fucking Guild Wars, like,
yeah, like,
tons of shit.
Yeah, like, every time a new MMO comes out, it's like, this is gonna
It's like
killer.
World of Warcraft. I remember there was, like, some debate about, like, World of Warcraft versus, like, Warcraft 3, because Warcraft 3 players felt shafted
That
in
was
terms of
totally a thing early on.
Yeah, I remember that shit. I'm like, you're literally arguing in franchise about which of your franchise games is the superior one in the franchise, just because you're like disgruntled that
they're not making a new RTS.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look, I would love Warcraft. I would love for that to be a thing.
It's probably going to be a thing at some point. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, this day and age, nostalgia bombs, like, there's no way they're not going to do a Warcraft 4. The problem is, like, is there, I don't know anything about this, so I'm asking, like, kind of completely randomly. Is there some level of, like, rivalry between, like, World of Warcraft fans and Overwatch fans? Because Overwatch is kind of, like, taking a lot of the...
I think that there's a little bit of it, but, like, there's a lot of, there's so much crossover between the two.
Of course, yeah. Well, but also Overwatch has brought so many new fans into, like the Blizzard fucking zeitgeist.
Like, people, like, Blizzard wants you to play all this shit.
Oh, of course, yeah, every developer does.
Because they have a launcher, and they do all these cross-promotional shit between games.
Yeah.
For that exact purpose.
Right. No, and I mean, like, I've seen it happen a ton in fandoms where, like, you know, there'll be old school fans who are just fans of the old thing, and then something new comes out, and it brings in a bunch of people who, like Marvel. Marvel fans are fucking horrendous about this. You'll see, like, I think I distinctly remember there was, like, this artist who did, like, Artist Alley, and he had a Doctor Strange print before the movie had come out, and just the trailer was out, you know? And this fan came up and, like, started talking to him about how cool he thought the character of Doctor Strange was, and how he wanted to cosplay him, and he, like, used this guy as an example as to why cosplayers were shitty inherently, because this kid didn't know anything about Doctor Strange. He just thought the character design was cool.
I mean, that is a valid reason to want to get in costumes or something.
I think, yeah, well, first of all, you're representing the character and the character design, and the character design is what 9 times out of 10 makes you like the character initially anyway. You know, would anybody like Dragon Ball Z if Goku didn't have spiky hair? You know what I mean? And if he wasn't this big buff orange dude, like, no, that's what gets you attracted to it in the first place. But the thing that I had a problem with was that this guy took an opportunity to introduce a new fan to all sorts of, like, new lore that they didn't know existed by giving him, like, story recommendations and, like, specific artists or runs of the comic. Right. And he squandered it in favor of, like, just bitching about the fact that this dude was standing in front of his table and potentially driving traffic away. Which is fucking, like, some spoiled douchey shit in the first place. But also, like, I don't know, you're hindering your fan base by saying, like, you can't be in our fandom because you're interested in the character, but you didn't grow up with him or whatever. Like, that's dumb.
It's just like, I've had plenty of people, like, be like, hey, I want to get into the extended Warcraft lore, where do I go? And
yeah,
like,
you just point in a direction.
My response would be like, always start with Rise of the Horde.
As a side note, I gotta wonder, like, how many people watched the Warcraft movie and then decided they wanted to go a little deeper, you know?
I'm not sure how many. Like,
there's got to be at least a few.
There has to be a few. Like,
there's got to be someone who watched Dragon Ball Evolution and decided that that was going to be their jumping in point for this series. Like, nobody has any illusions that that movie's good, I would hope. It's got to have its fandom.
It has to pique the interest of someone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's got to have its fandom. But also, like, I gotta wonder how many people have watched that knowing nothing about Dragon Ball and then wanted to, like, fucking see what the series was actually like. Because everybody knows kind of vaguely what Dragon Ball is all about.
Screaming, power levels.
Tons of talking and little fighting. Buff guys blowing away each other's shirts, like, shit like that. Spiky anime hair. Like, whenever... Typically, I think, like, the cultural idea of anime, at least in the US, is like when you think of anime, if you're not deep into it, then you think of Dragon Ball, right? That's a fair assessment to make. You think of like Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon or Pokemon. Pokemon especially, dude. That Detective Pikachu movie, I get more and more interested in it the more I hear about it. And that sounds really stupid.
But
Because the first time that they announced that they were making Detective Pikachu, the Pokemon movie, I was like, the game doesn't come out until a month from this recording. And they announced this movie last year. But then they added Justice Smith from The Get Down as like the main character, who's a great actor, and The Get Down's a great show. Then they added fucking Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu. Then I was like, alright, are we going back to Ryan Reynolds like Green Lantern days, or is this actually something that could be a thing? The guy who directed the Goosebumps movie, Rob Letterman, he's the director, and that movie was actually like pretty funny. I don't know, like it was a good kids movie, you know? So maybe this movie will be that. Maybe this movie will be like a good kids movie. But it'll also just be interesting to see how they decide to interpret Pokemon in live action. I just want Pikachu to look like Pikachu. I don't want him to look like a hyper-realistic version of Pikachu with the eyes of a rat or whatever. Just make him look like Pikachu in like 4K Unreal Ultra HD, like
hyper.
Yeah,
give him fur.
Well, okay, because like there was a Pokemon commercial that came out, I think during the Super Bowl last year for the 20th anniversary or some shit. It was like a bunch of, you would see like the story was following all these different people around the world, and they were like, I can do that, you know. And then it ends on like a Pokemon battle. This guy steps out with a Pokeball in his hand, and like this kid is watching it with his dad at his house, and there's a Pikachu sitting next to him in this fucking trailer, and that Pikachu doesn't look amazing, but if you took that Pikachu and gave him like movie CG to like up the fidelity, that's a viable design, you know? Also, Pikachu's design is so iconic. When people think Pokemon, typically that's the one they think of. He wasn't even the first one designed. He was just the one that stuck, you know? Like fucking Bulbasaur doesn't have a goddamn Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Or,
that'd be really funny if he did.
It'd be pretty great. Bulbasaur was the first designed Pokemon, wasn't he? Or no, it was like Nidoran or something like that. It was some random bullshit.
This guy's boo is fucking up.
Yeah, he is. Well, no, because you're fucking the rest of them up. I don't know, you've got two whole characters to... You've got one whole character to burn through. And your Cell is pretty good, so... You seem to be better with Cell than the other two. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens with that Detective Pikachu thing. And I feel like anybody who is a Pokemon fan is probably just going to go see that movie whether it looks stupid or not. So, I'll go see it. Fuck it, dude. We got our first live-action Nintendo-based film since the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Like, that's crazy. What if it ends up being
amazing?
The first like really good video game movie?
That'd be fantastic.
I would fucking relish in that because it's such a stupid idea to bring to the screen. They're like, what do we got here with Pokemon? You've got literally anything you could do. You could make a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon CGI movie. That would probably be fine.
That last match was stressful.
Yeah, it looked stressful, but you got it. You did it, dude. I told you.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Just I like.
They have baseball Yamcha as a little avatar.
They do. I have that on the Xbox
love it.
version.
Does he does he have that as like an alt skin?
No.
Oh,
all the skins
boo!
All the skins are colors.
Boo!
I'm pretty
There's
sure.
so much you can do.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they'll be happy to sell you that soon.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to buy baseball Yamcha.
Too bad.
Can I buy fucking dead Yamcha? Can I get like Yamcha as a zombie?
That'd be
Like a Zombo Yamcha?
That'd be rad.
And instead of all of Christopher Sabat's lines, it's just Christopher Sabat in the mic going, "Ow, ow." I would play the fuck out. I would become a Yamcha main if that were the case. I'd be the only asshole out there that like shelled out for like a $5 Yamcha skin.
Goku Black. Oh, this guy's really good too. Shit.
He's gonna destroy you. total matches, number of wins. Yeah, he's... Oh, no, your ratio's better.
It is.
Your ratio's way better. I don't know,
Still
man. We'll
pretty
see.
good.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. We'll see. How many of you believe in Bronson? Leave a comment below. Like, do you think he's real?
Am I just a figment of your imagination?
Have I been sitting here recording by myself for the last, what? How long has it been? A year? Almost a year since the first time I recorded, and then there was that weird 5-month break where I just kind of vanished into the nether. Now I'm back. Now I'm back out. They got me. They pulled me out.
We
Didn't necessarily want to come back out, but they got me.
We returned him from the secret land of
The
Los
nether.
Angeles.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's where you
close
thought I
enough.
went. Lol.
Oh, fuck! I timed that kick
Oh
wrong.
shit, dude. You definitely did not time bitch slapping him out of his instant transmission wrong, though.
Oh,
Yeah, no, LA was fun.
This guy has, like, the team, like, if you want to mess me up in this game, you will play Trunks and Goku Black.
I need to learn Trunks, because Trunks looks like so much fucking fun.
He has so many fucking launches.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like, half his move list is just like, hey, do you want to launch someone in the fucking air?
True. Also, everybody talks about Goku versus Vegeta, when your boy Trunks is the best character objectively in Dragon Ball. Like, objectively, he has the best development.
I like Piccolo.
Piccolo's great, but he doesn't have the same kind of development that Trunks has. I like Piccolo a lot. Piccolo's like top 5 favorite characters for me. Who's your top 5 favorite characters in Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball?
It's gonna be like Paikon and fucking Vegeta's little brother that nobody remembers. And
I really do like Piccolo. I like Vegeta.
who's your number 1 favorite?
Probably Krillin.
Krillin? Just because the odds are against him.
Yeah, because like Krillin just gets fucked all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. You remember when they first announced Dragon Ball Evolution as just Dragon Ball, and everybody was really butthurt that Krillin wasn't going to be in it? I was pretty butthurt too, TBH, but I was also like, nobody cares about Krillin. Like, this was back when, like, everybody was exclusively talking about Goku and Vegeta. We kind of forgot that, like, Goku had a grandpa named Gohan and all this stuff.
I might lose this one.
It was also, they made that movie at, like, probably the weirdest fucking time for Dragon Ball, because it was a dead zone. Like, nothing was fucking happening in Dragon Ball Z at that point. Actually, that movie is responsible for Battle of Gods, and by virtue of that, Super. So, all y'all talking shit about Dragon Ball Evolution back there, and you literally owe Dragon Ball Z's resurgence in popularity to Dragon Ball Evolution. You know what else I've been doing a lot of involving Dragon Ball?
I forgot that move.
Fucked you up, dude.
I forgot that move entirely.
We predicted the future here, guys. Oh, unless he can make a comeback with Cell. Maybe. Maybe. Let's hope. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of fan content for Dragon Ball on YouTube, and lol. That is all I have to say. Specifically, like,
I had my super. I thought I was going to be able to get him into it. Damn it.
we need to come up with a new editor name, because it sounds like it's going to be swapping between me and Ray for a while. Predominantly me for a while, it seems like.
Ray does not feel the best right now.
Ray's not having a good go of it, so we're giving him a little bit of a break.
So it's going to be Editor Brandon.
But we're gonna. I'm not editing it. We have a new editor who's may or may not be real.
Who may be a ghost.
Yeah, we might have
editor.
Ghost editor. That's actually kind of badass. His name is
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed.
I
could just imagine Lord Zed in the back editing our TGA videos like, God damn it, Bronson! He forgot to do a sync! They're just getting unreasonably mad. Meanwhile, Rita Repulsa's in the background like, you fool!
Oh, God.
I love that.
I almost said Zamasu or Zabatsu. So.
His name is Zack Snyder. God, that would be fucking dope. Say what you want about the man, but if he was editing TGA videos, suddenly we would look so much better.
It would look so dark.
We would look really dark, but also really good.
We'd look really stylish.
Really stylish and very CG heavy, but it would be the best CG you'd get.
This guy's win rate.
I don't know.
King of all versus the Space Police.
Space Boy. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna win this one.
Hopefully.
Wait, no,
Yeah, I was just saying.
No, I was looking at the. You keep fucking swapping sides on this, bro, and I'm like.
They keep moving.
I know, and so I keep looking at the right now, but then I'm comparing your teams. Oh, already off to a great start.
Moving in strong.
You're doing great. Why does Goku Blue not wear his Resurrection F key?
That's a good question.
It looks like the better gi anyway, right? Like, I like that design more.
Shit.
He's fucking you up, dude. Fucking you up. Oh yeah, so your top 5 favorite Dragon Ball characters.
Krillin, Piccolo, Master Roshi, Cell. Actually, no, Frieza. Frieza, Goku.
Okay. Okay.
I love Master Roshi. He's another one I really like.
Master Roshi's really good. I think for me, maybe in order. Yeah, we'll go in order. I think it's Goku, like order from best to worst on my list. It's Goku, Trunks, Vegeta probably, Piccolo, and anyone else that's not Gohan. No, Bulma. I really like Bulma. I'd actually like to swap out Vegeta for Videl.
Vidal's good. Ah, God, I think connection's gonna drop. It's a little let the connection's gonna drop. This has been a semi-frequent but improving issue.
At least it's getting there.
Yeah, like,
we're already 30 minutes into this shit.
It also doesn't affect your record, so
good.
That's good.
I mean, bad for that guy, right? Like, you were beating his ass. Or, well, was he beating your ass?
It was pretty even. Like,
kind of like wasn't really paying attention.
It was kind of an ebb and flow of the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm
really hungry, Jesus.
I'm really excited. You wanna know what I'm excited for? To find out if this is Evo. If it's gonna be an Evo on Tuesday.
Me too, for reasons.
I know.
I'm just excited to. This year's gonna be, hopefully. I mean, it's off to kind of a rough start. But hopefully...
It's a fucking school bus on fire.
It is kind of a school bus on fire. This year is, and I'm not talking about, like, outside... I mean, outside forces have a lot to do with it, but, like, TGA specifically, at least, like, as far as things with Ray, Bronson, and I are concerned, has been a little bit of a mess. Little teeny tiny bit of a mess. But... that being said, I'm really excited to see where all of our things go, because we have a lot of big stuff that we want to do.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff planned. It's just
we have a lot of stuff we'd like to do. I think that's the best way to put it. Like we have a lot of stuff that we want to get off the ground, and we're at least doing one major thing this year.
Yeah,
and it's going to be huge, and I don't know that we'll ever do anything like it again.
Like, if it's really successful,
you'll see more content like it?
Yeah, you'll probably see.
What I would like to do is bring things into a more technically, how do I put it? Into a more high fidelity realm as far as like our technical side goes. Because as hosts, I think we're okay. Y'all might disagree, but I think we'll get better as the technology improves. We've already got a brand new capture card. I don't think we talked about that, did we?
We did a little bit in Monster Hunter.
Well, we got a new capture card.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't watch Monster Hunter,
We have a brand new capture card going on. We're looking into improving our audio as we speak. We're doing a lot more. Well, okay, I guess that's more my realm, but specifically, like, I'm doing a lot more research into like what it is that we need to record better.
Yeah, I've been looking into the live streaming side of things. The big thing with live streaming, for those of you who were there back in the day for that, it's not even really the technical side of it, because outside of a cam buddy and a camera, which granted is expensive and not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Where we just like don't have the time is more the issue with it.
So that's the biggest thing about live streaming is like we want to start doing that. And we've talked about it a lot, I think, but figuring out a schedule where at least 2 of us are available for like an hour or 2 a week that isn't already dedicated to recording.
Or like, the thing is, y'all motherfuckers, you gotta live a life. Like.
Oh yeah. Well, so this isn't our job right now. This is just our thing.
Yeah, like this.
We treat it like a job, but it's not.
Yeah.
We all have to make money. We all have to
make money.
We're all working full-time schedules, like.
And in Ray and I's case, more than full-time a lot of times.
Oh, mine too. Yeah, I've got like 6 mandatory hours of overtime a week. But beyond that, like, we're all working our asses off. We all have shit that we're doing outside of TGA on top of like the stuff that we do for TGA, which eats up, like, TGA eats up a lot of our time as well.
Yeah.
It's gonna start eating up probably more of my time as we go. But Ray and Bronson already do a lot of work for the website.
You would be surprised how much of my evening is spent responding to and reading through emails.
Yeah, I'm sure that as we move forward, that responsibility will start to divvy out a little bit. Not to the extent of like we're responding to professional emails or anything, but to the extent that we can like communicate what's going on with work a little bit better. That was actually a huge speed bump we had at the beginning of this year. Was like communication. Like all of us were pretty shit at it.
Yeah, and like
we had to like we have a group chat on Facebook for work. We had to like specifically tell people like, and all of us ourselves were responsible. Like it wasn't any one person. As much as we all would like to blame everyone else, like we were all pretty shit at it. So we had to like set some ground rules for this group chat because it would get out of hand. And now, with everything going on outside of the website, it's going to get a little bit harder to maintain the shit.
Yeah, like it's, we're hoping that, like this week we're not really having an issue because
we have enough
like
going on.
We have enough in the in the hopper and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we also
I think absolute worst case scenario. You might see Doom be put on hold in favor of another thing.
Yeah, because we don't have a man who can do it.
Yeah. So if that's the case, we'll try to do some interesting stuff with it. We won't make it content that we're only putting up because we're not doing Doom. We've had a lot of ideas for like some quick Let's Plays and stuff like that anyway.
Yeah.
So this will be like, this will be us like trying to experiment a little bit. You might see some experimentation, I think. The best thing to come out of this right now is that it's afforded us a little bit of room to experiment with what we're doing right now, But we have Doom in the hopper, so it's not like Doom's completely going away.
Yeah, it's like, and we are committed to finishing a Let's Play.
I mean, I don't think historically you guys have ever, like, stopped doing one just because you didn't want to, right?
The only one, yeah, like, every single one has had a reason for stopping.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know people get real mad when you don't, like, go back and finish it. Game Grumps has actually been going back and finishing a lot of their old unfinished Let's Plays lately. Because people get really testy about it, but I don't know. Right now this is like it's very much like a second job for us, but it's also like very much we're not getting paid, so it feels a lot of the times like a hobby.
Right.
And so we're kind of just trying to do what makes things interesting for us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Soon we're actually probably going to end up being like in the negative on TGA stuff, you know, as far as like how much we're spending.
Oh, easily. Like,
and Bronson already dropped what, 200 on this capture card?
$200. Yeah, and then.
Which capture card did you get, like, specifically?
I got the Elgato HD60, which is the second newest, or I guess second best capture card you can get right now.
Yeah.
The best one you can get is $400.
Right.
And it hooks into the PCI Express.
So my goal next is to get at least 3, but ideally 4 condenser mics total, not like new, but total, like including the one you have, and 4 stands and a mixer, so that we can have enough for Ray, Bronson, and I to each have our own isolated audio, but also for us to have like a guest on. If we needed a guest, they could have their own mic. We don't have to share mics with everyone.
We're planning to get Tammy out to the States eventually, which means we can start doing the podcast in person.
Yeah.
Though people have asked video podcast. People have asked.
Video podcast is something we've talked about for at least as long as I've been around. Probably much longer.
Right, and what happened is we were going to start that as soon as Thomas moved out here, but Thomas had to leave for personal reasons, and then the other co-host is in the UK, and she is like, we have to move her out here.
We've talked about potential other co-hosts as well.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it'd
be cool to get Dimitri on more often. Getting Dimitri involved is kind of difficult, but it'd be cool to get him on for at least a video podcast. Once a month if we have to start it at least at the monthly, just to figure out what's going on.
I mean,
and then ideally we'd have it weekly, right?
Yeah, like that's what we have currently.
You have the weekly like audio podcast, but like if we had to do like a video podcast where it's like you, me, and Dimitri on camera, and then an extra person off camera as the producer.
So we do have a second podcast so we used to have 2 podcasts running at the same time.
Yeah.
It was the current one, Unscripted Access, and it was the Gamecast.
Yeah.
Me and Ray and Aaron and other people ran the Gamecast.
Right.
Nick and John and Anthony ran Unscripted, but then we had a staff run around, and Unscripted is way more popular. Largely, a lot of that's due to name recognition. A lot of that's due to the way it works in comparison to the Gamecast.
The Gamecast is the one that you and Tammy run, or is that Unscripted?
No, that's Unscripted.
Okay.
That one is holy.
We'd like to do. So yeah, Bronson and I at the very least have talked about a lot, kind of like what we want the podcast to be, and we have kind of like a vague idea of the format, which would be similar to like the Giant Bombcast or the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Yeah, like
in terms of like we get our TGA personalities on here and, you know, relatively frequent collaborators and go from there.
Exactly.
I don't know. In my head right now, the way it works out is like it'll be like me, Bronson, and, you know, third guy, potentially Dimitri, maybe Anthony, someone extra that we might like audition a third person, maybe.
I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But like me, Bronson, and third person, maybe get Tammy on over Skype or something.
Yeah, like she's doing a real good job, and I don't want to like stop her at this point. Like,
of course, yeah. Our goal isn't to shut anybody out.
And also like the fact that like, yeah, not a good idea. We're all overeating.
He was blocking. But yeah, we don't want to shut anybody out. Like the video podcast. I don't know. It sounds like we're not trying to make it an evolution of the unscripted podcast right now.
No, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's just going to be...
Well, but, like, we can't do that right away, you know?
Right, exactly. Like, what we probably have to do is bring back the Gamecast.
Yeah.
And have it as like a video test ground for when Tammy does move out here.
Yeah. Which will hopefully happen soon enough. We're gonna play around with the format though. Like it's not gonna be anytime soon. It's just like stuff we want to do. We have a lot of stuff we want to do, and a few things we're going to do. But it's easier to talk about the stuff you want to do than it is to talk about the stuff you're going to do, because that shit builds less expectation. You know?
Right.
I feel like it sounds like it should be the opposite, because when you talk about something openly like that, like people build the expectation that it's going to happen, and it probably will at some point. But when you have something in development, the way that we have, like especially our one really big project, like it's difficult to talk about that shit, because then you like, you know, the end result could look completely different from the thing that you're saying, and that for sure is going down. So I just don't want to say anything until we have like, we'll probably have like a trailer for it.
Yeah, like
it's not a narrative story. I don't want to give anybody the anybody who's speculating right now, like I would personally love to do some narratives, but that's not really what the site is about. So
yeah, like
it'd be cool to maybe do it down the line.
Yeah, like
maybe like way down the line when the site is, when we can devote more time to more content, we could do like short films or something based on like video games or whatever we decide to do. Like maybe like a little bit of like a day in the life of TGA type thing, where it's like kind of like The Office style.
Maybe like a one-off. Like I know way back in the far-off year of 2012.
God, that does seem like forever ago, huh?
Yeah. Fuck.
Down.
That was close. I gave him a good fight match.
You got a new battle.
I did not think you would fight by my side. Well,
But anyway.
I've seen, like, we've done, like, one-off skits for Game of the Year. I've seen Giant Bomb do that before. I've seen, like, typically a lot of that stuff is, like, one-offs.
Yeah, I mean, and that's super fair. What I'd like to do is maybe do, like, an episode a month where, like, obviously, we already kind of, like, we don't actually do it that much on the show, but anytime you're like recording something, you're kind of a little bit different than how you are IRL, and I'd like to do like maybe like once a month or you know something like that, just like a The Office style video where like it looks into what goes on in our recording sessions or in our personal lives, and it's kind of like a very over-the-top, exaggerated version that's not real, but it's still funny.
I would actually love to see the actual version, like just, hey,
oh, yeah.
put up a camera, here's...
So the idea behind it wouldn't be like tell a complete fabrication or a lie. It would be like, here's us playing characters, but this is kind of what we do. Like this is us playing an exaggerated version of ourselves, but this is kind of like what we actually do, you know?
Yeah.
So it'd be like talking about what's going on in our personal lives, or not in our personal lives, but in our real lives, like in our behind-the-scenes lives, but also like, here's, god damn, this game looks so good. Yes.
I actually really want to see what the 4K version looks like.
It'll look great. But yeah, it would be like we're playing versions of ourselves that are us, but like hyper exaggerated so that it's not boring. But also at the same time, it's like this is the actual chaos of our lives, because shit does happen like a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah,
we end up running into some really dumb shit all the time.
Just fucking prior to his illness, Ray's just like telling me like, yeah, we spend like the next like 4 Saturdays in Sacramento. Or California for different reasons. And I'm like, look, you have the rest of the week to go off to fucking Never Neverland. I don't care where the fuck you go.
To be fair though, Saturday is like kind of the only time when things happen in the convention world.
Right. Well, like
So I could
that's
see
a
us-
different story. Like that. This was not a convention.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. It was just like. Yeah.
Either way, like, you know, January was a really busy month for us. Like, starting mid-February, early March, it's just gonna get even busier. Shit's gonna be like fucking. The cat's bananas fucking busy. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna get even crazier, even busier.
Yeah, especially because like
TGA is gonna eat up a lot of our lives.
after PAX Prime, sorry, not PAX Prime. After PAX East, I have to start doing like pre-planning.
Yeah.
And booking appointments, and
I'm pretty much planning this big project.
yeah.
I mean, we all kind of are. We all have to put a hand in that, but I'm the one that's going to be developing the schedules, coming up with all the, you know, equipment, figuring out the aesthetics of it,
Right.
you know. And then the actual shooting schedule for that is going to be difficult. That's just going to be fucking crazy. And it wouldn't be as crazy if none of us had day jobs.
No, look, if we were doing this full time, like
We would do more stuff like the
we
big
do-
thing
yeah,
that we're going
we
to do, yeah.
yeah, like I even was talking about this with Nick about how like yeah, I could go back to doing tons of editorial. Like
Yeah.
like you know, people wonder just like, yeah, you used to do a lot of written content. And I'm like, I did.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd all like to push the idea right now is we're trying not to add too much to our slate because we don't have the time to do all of the things we want to do.
And then like you guys get the problem of like, hey, where's X video this week? Where's X video that week?
Yeah.
Where's X editorials? It's just like we kind of learned that like, okay, don't.
I don't think we want to come across as like we're bitching either because this is like fun for us. Like I said, it is a hobby for us.
Yeah, it's. I have a great time every time we do a LP. Every time we do something like that. Yeah, it's one of those things where I would love for us to get more written content. I would love for us to like people think like, hey, why'd you guys stop live streaming? It's like because Ray and I no longer work a job where we get off at 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So
nobody does. Yeah. All of us get off around 5 to 6 normally.
Right, and like what this job was is like during the busy season, yeah, Ray and I were packed, but during the slow season, you'd work like 9 to 1.
Yeah.
8 to 12. So we'd roll into work together. This is when they lived here.
Yeah.
And then we would just be like, all right, hey, let's go stream Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
And we'd stream Grand Theft Auto, and people would offer us to buy us free steaks while asking us about Nick's sex life.
Right.
And then we got so sick of it that we just told him to, as some of you know, we told him to, hey, go ask Nick about his German sex dungeon.
As kind of an aside to that.
Tweet at Nick McCandless. Tell us about your German sex dungeon.
Also, on the note of Twitter and social media, you know, we need you guys to like follow that stuff. You know, we need you guys to like go on Facebook and like our Facebook, you know, follow our Twitter, subscribe to we have a YouTube channel, did you know that?
Yeah, they probably do.
We need
only 10% of them come from YouTube.
I know, yeah. Let's get those numbers up because the thing is like the more you guys interact with us on social media, the easier it is for us to kind of figure out what kind of content you guys want, and this will be the perfect opportunity for that to go down.
Other than what we do now,
because that's not changing.
Like other than what we do now is like there's lag. Is like if you want to know like what determines what content goes up right now, like
this internet connection is gonna get dropped.
No, I've finished matches like this before.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. This feels really
choppy.
Yeah, this feels really bad. I wonder if it's bad on his side too, because he's beating your ass. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Game looks really cool and even in slow motion.
Yeah. No, I mean like with because we're probably gonna end up having to put Doom on hold for a little bit.
That frees up an hour.
It frees up an hour of content every week that we can record, or you know, we could just kind of like start interacting with our social media. Everything is at the Gamer Access.
Exactly.
So it's easy to find everything. if it helps, maybe we can include links to everything in the description or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, we're not hard to find. Just like find us and start talking to us more, and then we'll know kind of like better what kind of content you guys want to see from us.
Yeah, because like what happens is like, okay, 6 Minute Access is our most popular show by far.
Right, because that's the show everybody goes to check out the game.
Yeah. And
this is kind of a bullshit episode, but
yeah, well,
it's an episode. We didn't have the online when we did the last one, so.
Yeah, and then also they're getting Monster Hunter this week too, so.
Oh, they're getting both this week.
Yeah, they're getting.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Lucky you.
Next week they're getting 3.
Wait, what's next week?
Next week is Dissidia, Shadow of the Colossus, and Celeste.
Right. Oh, we're not. Okay, yeah. Wow.
So.
All right, you guys are getting a lot. We thought January was going to be like a dead month as far as like content goes, because it normally is, I guess. But
they were like, "Hey, video games."
Yeah, we ended up having to like pick up a lot of shit.
Yeah, well, so what ends up. Okay, there we go. 6 Minute Access is one of those shows that we always wanted to do the new releases as they came. And this year I'm looking to get better about that.
Yeah. We're also trying to be on the ball about it a little bit. We're trying to, I don't know, like I feel like we're talking in circles a little bit at this point, but it is really a matter of like, what do you guys want to see from us? What kind of stuff do you guys like?
Yeah.
And the more we know that sort of thing, the better it gets. So, Twitter, great place to fucking interact with us. We're on Twitter all the time. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think all of us end up spending quite a bit of time on Twitter. Eventually, we'll probably have like a subreddit set up for all you Redditors.
Yeah, if we hear demand for a Reddit, we will make one.
We will make a Reddit. One of us will mod it. I'm on Reddit more and more as the days go, just because, I don't know, it's a fucking interesting place to be.
It is. I finally caved and went down the Reddit hole.
And it is a hole. So when you're bored and you're trying to find stuff to do online, the best thing to do is go to Reddit and hit the random button a million times, and you'll land on something that just captivates the fuck out of you. But they have like a subreddit for literally everything. So Reddit, like, a very good place to. That's a great place to learn shit too. Like
it's been like the slow season at my work, so like I have been on the Reddit quite a bit.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know, a lot of the content creators that I follow are, you know, not putting out as much right now as they normally do. Or con season is not quite kicked off yet. So I'm kind of at a standstill as far as like things to do. Normally I spend all of 100% of my free time working on cosplay. And because con season doesn't typically start up until anime in May, I've got like 4 months to just sit on my ass whenever I'm not doing stuff for TGA or stuff for work. So Reddit's been really good about keeping that shit up. We talked about doing kind of like a prop related show too, because Ray and I are I'm getting Ray pretty invested in cosplay as well.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that's probably not going to happen for a while, if it does at all. But that's something we've talked about. If you guys are into the idea of like learning how to make weapons from video games, we might do like a Man-at-Arms style, like you leave your requests for what you want to see and we'll take the most requested video game related build and build that. I'm building a Buster Sword right now, and I'm just now fucking realizing like 25% into the build that this would be a great thing to test the waters with.
I know one thing that I thought about doing is one live stream series we briefly had going was Bronson 5. And I would have to do this after our March project for sure.
Yeah.
What it was is what that stream series was us playing Heroes of the Storm, seeing how far we could get in the bracket, and we were fucking awful.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like some of my close friends, who play that game, they're fucking bad at the game. They're like really fucking bad.
Yeah. Oh, we have a couple of series that we wanted to do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about any of that stuff?
I mean, sure. Like, all these ideas are what we call on the shelf.
They're tentative. They're very tentative. You might actually see us roll out one or two of them while we're waiting for like Doom to resume.
Like there's but what these people who follow us a long time know a term Anthony and I used to have called on the shelf, which basically means, hey, we are eventually going to do this,
but we're still,
as of right now, it's probably not going to happen for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just due to money or other reasons.
Right now, it seems like time constraints are the main thing. We've got like a lot of shit going on.
Right. It's either money or time, or there is a reason behind it.
Right now, currently, the major issue is time.
Right. Exactly. Like,
I just started a new job that's going to be difficult to adjust to because it's like putting me on the opposite sleep schedule from where I'm at. Anyway, enough excuses. Like, we've got the one that I'm personally most excited for, as far as like all of these like random weird little side projects is we're calling it Naked and Afraid.
Oh, the
PUBG one, because we haven't. I think we did a 60-minute access on it, but we haven't talked about it at all.
Right.
And it's such a big game right now. It's like kind of our idea is Bronson, Ray, and I drop into a fucking match of PUBG completely naked and like just dog shit awful at the game, because I can't imagine any of us would be very good at it. Maybe Ray. That seems like something Ray would be weirdly good at.
Yeah, that game. I can place top 20 most of the time.
Oh, I'm horrible at it. But yeah, like our idea is to drop in, be absolutely terrible at it, and see how far we can get. We have something we can't do until we got Ray back is getting good.
Yeah, the Dark Souls one.
That's the Dark Souls one. I think we've talked about that on the show too.
Yeah, we've talked about that one. There's Bronze 5. There's Brief History of Video Games. There's what was the name of it? Forced Enjoyment.
Yeah. That's just where we play really bad games, right?
Yeah, like there are a lot of these.
Right.
That have been on the shelf. Like Anthony and I have plenty of ideas.
One of the first things we do when we talk about an idea too is we come up with a name.
Yeah, like
I've talked a lot about doing more like live action sketches every now and then, like nothing too heavy, just something like relating to what's going on in the industry right now.
Right.
It'd be cool to like get a little bit more introspective on the gaming industry, because I'm sure most of you don't give a fuck, like you just want to see the games. But that part is really interesting to me.
Yeah, like sorry.
This is really 60-minute access of like where we're at.
Yeah, while Bronson plays fighting games,
yeah, which is fine. You're getting to see the online. It's actually running pretty well.
We've had a couple of hiccups, but for the most part.
That's a fighting game, though. I've never had too many amazing experiences with online fighting games.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's super hard.